Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video, we're going to be making a tier list for the Mythic plus V plus magic charm priority because Global is going to be getting these charms on reset, and so it is really important to talk about what heroes should you be focusing. And when we cover the key heroes like maybe the S and S plus tier, I will also tell you which set you should focus on them. Now the first thing I just want to mention is that you will only get any benefit from these Mythic Plus charms compared to a regular Mythic if you get the complete set effect. If you just have the Mythic Plus charms on their own, the stats they provide to your heroes are exactly identical to those Mythic regular charms. And you're going to see that I have a screenshot on the screen right now. And the Mythic quality bonus is going to be the same. The only advantage is if you complete a full set. If you're not completing a full set, might as well just have base Mythic charms. Okay, without further ado, we're going to get right into it, beginning with Elsa. So Elsa is pretty much purely a PvP hero. I do like her in the Iron Nuke team. I'm going to put in the A tier though because PvP heroes are not going to be your first priority. After you get your Dream Realm heroes sorted, then you can begin investing into PvP. But Elsa is good and I would recommend the Mystic charms for her. Antandra, not an important hero. I'm not even going to recommend her. Arden, I am going to put in the S tier for now because he has some AFK stage use, and I would say go for the Mystic Charms onto him. Now, the reason why AFK stages are less and less important as we've made it this far into the season is everyone has reached over the level 800 cap for Dream Realm and Supreme Arena, so getting these extra AFK stages in doesn't matter as much. However, it does unlock you those orbs needed to upgrade your faction talents, so I'm still going to prioritize it a bit, and Mystic for the Arden. Atalanta, I'm not going to recommend. Going to put in the C tier. We have Athalia. Athalia is looking strong in PvP. I will have more videos about her when she comes out on Global, so definitely stay tuned for that. However, I would put her in the S tier for right now, but she does seem to be purely PvP. We're gonna have to see if she has any use at all in Dream Realm. And the charms which would look the best for her are the Sorcery charms, giving her ultimate power and skill power to increase her damage. Now, for a lot of heroes, actually, Sorcery charms do seem the best option. But for Athalia, they are probably the best choice. Burial, I'm not really going to recommend. I'll put him in the A tier if you're a fan of him in PvP, but I would not make it a big priority. Bonnie. So Bonnie doesn't have that much Dream Realm use, basically only Plague Creeper in like a third or fourth best team. Not really a top performer, however, she is really powerful in PvP. She's really good in AFK stages, so I'm going to put her at the S+, but we'll put it right at the end of the S+ tier as we move on. But Bonnie, you want to get the Sorcery charms onto her. It increases her ultimate power and increases her skill power. That is going to make her better for AFK stages and for PvP specifically. Okay, Brutus, I would not really prioritize his, okay, well, actually, he does get the really important charms for PvP because he gets long invincibility duration. Maybe people are going to try to use Brutus to counter enemy Athalias, and you would want to get the Insight charms onto him to increase his skill power. Brian is going to be a hero mainly only for PvP. I'm going to put him in the B tier because he's not even a top tier PvP hero in my opinion. Talene is fine. However, I really feel like you can still burst through him. Athalia is also going to really counter him by depleting his shield with her enhanced force. Talene is not looking great, honestly. I'm going to put him in the B tier, and I wouldn't really recommend getting his Mythic Plus charms anytime soon. Cryonaia for AFK stages, if you want to use her there. I'm going to put her only in the A tier though because I don't think she is as popular of an AFK stage hero as compared to Arden. However, if you use her a lot, by all means, you can somewhat prioritize her charms, but first focus on your Dream Realm heroes. They're the most important because they're going to get the biggest gains by getting their charms. And so this is going to be Cryonaia. Arcane charms are best for her. Cassidy, really only for Guild Supremacy Glyphshade boss, right? However, if you are using her there, I think it would be a decent option. I don't know the best ones for her. I think the blades, the two blades, I can't remember the name of them off the top of my head right now, but those were doing well in Ravage Realm. So yeah, maybe for boss content and then potentially again, eventually for Ravage Realm. So you could go for those. Okay, next up we have Cisia. I would not recommend her charms. Up until maybe where we have Ravage Realm, then potentially she'll be useful and then we can get them. But anytime in the near future, I would not recommend them. Cryonaia is a PvP hero, although she does have Dream Realm use as well. And she is the top for 1 or 2 Dream Realm bosses. I think I might have to put her, I'll have to put her in the S+ tier because if you have her and you're using her in those top teams with Harak, you'll want to get her. And their Sorcery charms are going to be the best for Cryonaia. Again, to power up her ultimate power and her skill power. So Cyran is a really interesting hero. For the most part, is mainly PvP, although a bit of AFK stage use. And in fact, in Dream Realm, for Plague Creeper, in the VN server, they're using him instead of Talene in the overall top performing Harak team. So if you don't have Talene, but you have Harak and you want to run that team, Cyran can be good for Plague Creeper. So I am going to put him in the S+ tier, but towards the end of it, even probably after Bonnie. And the best charms for him are going to be the Chalice charms, the purple ones. They give him execution and ultimate power. Those are going to be the ones you want to go for. I'm sorry if I can't really remember the names. Okay, Damien. Damien is a good PvP hero, but pretty much exclusively for PvP. However, his charms are pretty nice. I'm going to put him at the top of the A tier. Not going to put him above that. So wizard charms are going to be best for him, giving him more health. And I think it gives him ultimate power. I believe it gives him ultimate power to make, and that actually ramps up the health of his toy chariot to survive for longer, which is really good for PvP. Diurnal is a PvP hero. We'll put him in the A tier as well. His charms are important, the sorcery charms, and those are going to increase his ultimate damage as well as the skill damage. However, I do not consider him as important as Athalia, because I think Athalia is really going to be more PvP meta compared to Diurnal. I actually think Athalia is going to counter Diurnal to an extent, trying to kill Nuke to his team really quickly. However, I think there will be some Diurnal comps like with Wilders, which are unkillable, that could maybe counter Athalia as well. Okay, Dunlinger. Dunlinger, so the thing is, right, I don't really recommend getting the charms, Mythic Plus charms of tanks, because we're talking about Mythic Plus here. We're not talking about base Mythic. Base Mythic, yeah, by all means, go for them on Dunlinger. They give him the stats. But Mythic Plus are really for the set effect. And, like, the Resolute charms onto Dunlinger are good, but he is purely a PvP option. I would put him down the line. And really, it gives him a bit of like bonus energy on hit, I think. But honestly, just giving him the base mythic charms, that's enough. You do not need to go above that. It basically maxes out most heroes. Iron for AFK stages, for PvP, you can consider getting his charms, and the cheater charms are going to be the best for him. But yeah, I mean, it's really just going to give him haste and health. It's not really going to increase his damage, so it won't really help you pushing those high deficit AFK stages. For PvP, it makes him a bit tankier, but honestly, I don't even know. Honestly, I'm not going to put him in S. I have to put him in the A tier. I can't put him that high. Okay, the twins, Elijah and Lailah, they are number one priority. Sorcery charms onto the twins. They're the hero which is used in the top team of every Dream Realm boss. Sorcery charms are going to increase the haste they give to all allies from 60 to 76. The skill power, unfortunately, doesn't provide anything meaningful. There's a bit of energy boost to the Stellar Bonded allies, but that ultimate power is so important for them. So sorcery charms for twins, really big priority. Faye, not important, C tier. Floribel, honestly, B tier, but like I don't really use Floribel anywhere. Gerda, honestly, C tier, not a useful hero. Granny, C tier, not a useful hero. Harak is going to be important, and now there's going to be a bit of testing that needs to be done about the optimal charms for Harak. So Harak is going to be even above Cryonaia, because even though we're going to get to V+, like Mythic Plus charms, Harak is going to be a bit out of the meta. He's still going to be the best for at least 3 Dream Realm bosses, maybe more than that. And now, there are different options. Balance Charm historically has always been a good option for Dream Realm. However, there are ideas that Sorcery Charms might be better because it might help his scaling more, especially if you're giving him enough buffs from like Sonja, the twins. You don't need more attack, and like instead it would be better to go for like, you know, ultimate power, skill power. So Sorcery Charms could be better. I don't know what is going to be optimal, but you can't go wrong with Balance Charms. Butcher charms are good for PvP and can be fine for Dream Realm, and sorcery charms are the ones people have their eyes on right now, but I don't know. So I would hold off a bit maybe on crafting, but like if you get those sets, you can test them out. Hugin, she's a PvP hero. We'll put her in A tier. We can't put her above that. But she is a strong PvP hero. Getting her charms, I think the skill power ones are the way to go for her. Yeah, those are the way to go, and that will like reduce the duration of her dispelling debuff effect. So yeah, she is a good hero, although I wouldn't make it a major priority. Hodgkin, not really important. I'll put him in the B tier, basically only if you use him in PvP. Hugin will be important, and I'm going to put him maybe after Cryonaia or before Cryonaia. I think I'll put it after Cryonaia. And Blast Charms seem to be the best for him, which give him ultimate power and attack. The other option is the Arcane Charms, giving him skill power and attack. Skill power enhances his mechanized bond attack buff for his ally. However, the ultimate power, which is Blast, is going to enhance his ultimate casting attack buff that he provides to his allies. So Hugin, I think Blast Charm is the recommended, because a lot of times heroes run away from the mechanized bond, and so you get more value from the Blast. So I think Blast Charm is for Hugin. Igor, not really important. he's just kind of a PvP hero. I'll put him in the B tier for right now. I don't know. If you use him, you can think about running something on him, but I wouldn't make it a big priority. Khafra, I'm just putting in the C tier. I know Rek has shown now videos of Khafra dominating. I know every hero can be used, but I'm just saying for most people, this is how you're going to want to build it out. Yeah. Okay. Unless you want to make really fun AFK journey videos, then yeah, Khafra. So actually for this anniversary event, if you have any ideas of that, but we're getting sidetracked. Okay, so Coco is a support hero. Coco is a support hero. She's really not needed really anywhere. Dream Realm, she's phased out by Endless. And in other content is really only PvP, and in even PvP, she's too slow casting her ultimate late. I'm just gonna put in the B tier. Honestly, not a big priority for the Mythic Plus charms, but if you are using her in your Super Arena lineups, you can make her, you can focus her a little bit more. Okay, Corrin is probably just gonna be for Ravage Realm when it comes out. Other than that, Corrin is not really used anywhere. I would put him before Coco though, because like when we're considering and preparing for Ravage Realm, the hard hitting damages for that, they should be higher priority here. Maybe even CCR for that reason, because she is probably going to be a good damage dealer for Ravage Realm. And Corrin almost definitely will be. So these heroes should be up here and getting their charms. However, for optimal charms, like Corrin, it was the insight giving him skill power. That was one option, but there were multiple options which basically worked well on Corrin. So for right now, don't really worry about it too much, but eventually we will be getting them. And then I'll probably make updated videos on the optimal charms for like the lesser used heroes. So Kruger, not really important for charm upgrade. Yeah, it is not important. Like, again, if you want to max out his damage, even if you're using him in Dream Realm, just get his mythic base charms. You do not need to get the set effect complete. Lenya will be important, and Butcher charms are going to be optimal for her. I wonder whether I put her in the S tier. She's probably not going to have major Dream Realm use. Is probably going to be confined to PvP and Ravage Realm. So I think I will put her in the A tier, because yeah, I know not really much AFK stage use, although there are a couple of AFK stages where Lenya has allowed me to clear through them, which is an interesting, like Hugin Lenya comps. So that's a kind of interesting point. Should I move Lenya up? No, we'll leave her in the top of the A tier for right now, but Butcher charms for Lenya. Lily May is going to be the sorcery charms if you use her in Dream Realm. However, if you use her for PvP, Titanic charms are going to be the way to go, most likely. But she's not a major priority because Dream Realm she's not really used. I'm gonna have to put it at the top of the A tier for just PvP content basically. So Sorcery, if you're doing Dream Realm, it can work fine in PvP, but Titanic probably is optimal for PvP, but then it might not be good for like Ravage Realm when it comes around. Sorcery would probably be better. So overall, I would probably just say Sorcery for Lily May, because it's fine in both modes. Lorison is used in some AFK stages. However, I don't really think getting his charms are that important because he's not using that many AFK stages. And now I'm kind of confused. Why did we put Arden so high? We haven't put enough heroes in the S tier. I think it will fill out when we get more heroes. Although I actually don't know. We might have to move some heroes up to the S tier. Okay, Lorison will put in the A tier. As for Lorison's optimal charm, it will be the Arcane charms for attack and skill power. So then we have, I'm forgetting his name, Luca. Luca will be, he's just a PvP hero. I don't really recommend, and even then, people don't really use him in PvP. So I'll put him in the C tier. Lucius in the C tier, not really needed. We have the king, the Graveborn King Ludovic. Yeah, he is a major priority, maybe even higher than the twins, to be honest with you. I'm going to put him higher than the twins, because the Insight charms onto him, Insight is the way to go for him, by the way, giving him skill power. That's going to increase his damage output, his HP per second damage, which is huge for Dream Realm Endless bosses. So Ludovic is going to be a key priority to be upgrading, or crafting the charms, maybe even on day one. Or if not day 1, day 2, day 3. So Ludovic, major priority, probably more important than the twins. Although I don't know, it's really difficult to say. The twins are so important. 16 extra haste for all of your allies. That's huge. So I think I'll put Ludovic after that. Lumont, no, I'm going to put him in the C tier. Lailah for Ravage Realm was actually pretty important if I remember correctly. So Lailah, I can't actually remember the optimal charms for her, but if you're using it in a download comp, you can use it for that. Otherwise, it's basically Ravage Realm. So I'm going to put in the B tier for right now. When we have Ravage Realm coming around nearer to that time, I will go over the optimal charms for the Ravage Realm heroes. Because basically right now, you're just focusing all your key Dream Realm heroes, some of your PvP heroes. Then later on down the line, we'll do the Ravage Realm optimization. So don't worry about that too much right now. Merrily, also Ravage Realm. Although you could use it in Thalassa, and if you are using it in Thalassa, she'll be higher. And overloaded charms have always been the best for Merrily. So I would recommend the overloaded charms onto Merrily if you're using her. Mikola. Mikola, okay, yeah, she's really important. We have to put it in the S. What was I even thinking? So, Mikola V plus charms, the arcane charms are really important. They're going to increase the attack buff she provides to allies only by 4%, but it's for the whole team. So, there's a big advantage of that. I would put her probably even higher than Cryonaia. I don't know. Yeah, I think I would put her there. Arcane charms for Mikola. Muriel. Muriel is not really used much other than like battle drills. That's basically the only mode. Um, I mean, you could put her in the B tier. I don't know the optimal charm. Oh, Ravage Rum, she could be good for again as well. But again, I don't know the optimal charms for Ravage Rum. We'll have to talk about that closer to the time. So this is just really the other key heroes which are currently usable. Like the Ravage Rum heroes, we'll have to do a completely dedicated video later on. And that will be probably like a month or a while down the line. So like focus on these key heroes, get them upgraded, and then save your resources. And then just try sweeping for these heroes and trying to get them. And probably you can make use of whatever you get. Nara, not important other than like AFK stages, and like she works at one copy there. She doesn't need stats, so I'm just gonna put Nara in the C tier. Although if you're using her in PvP, you can keep her in the B tier. But okay, we'll keep her in the B tier. Nero's charms. I don't think his charms are that important. Even though, like, he is used in, like, the Arden Iron comms to prevent enemy Lilymay from interrupting you. The thing is, he'll work, basically his full potential is almost reached as just Mythic charms. You don't need the Mythic Plus charms. The Mythic Plus charms don't offer that much more, other than you want to give him ultimate power, because that, like, enhances the health of the shadow that he revives, I believe. So, ultimate power charms onto him if you want to use him. He's a PvP hero. And they are the Eagle charms, by the way, specifically. Okay, moving on to the Odie. Odie is going to be important. He's the top damage dealer for Thalassa, maybe even more than that. Maybe Snow Stomper if you're limited on options. And even no, I think he might actually be the top. So Odie is going to be in the S plus tier, and the top charms for him are going to be the Gale charms, the most recommended charms. So get him the Gale charms, and this will help you in PvP as well. It increases attack speed and attack. Parissa will be for Ravage Rum, can be used in PvP. I'll put her in the A tier. Now, as for her specific charm set, anything that gives her an offensive stat, like I think the haste, you know, they call the quick charms or the swift charms. Those were the optimal charms for Ravage Run specifically, so you can begin prioritizing those if you want. Phraesto, now the weird thing about Phraesto is that even though he's a very important damage dealer for Dream Realm, he comes lower down the line for charm priority because his charms and his optimal charms are sorcery charms. They increase his ultimate power and skill power. However, this will not increase his HP per second damage. So it only slightly increases his other damage multipliers, which is so negligible that honestly, like, it might increase your damage by like a few 100 million of damage, but not a huge amount. So, not a big priority. However, eventually, yeah, you would want to get Phraesto with his full set of sorcery charms just to cap everything out. But it's just not so game-changing. Like, the other heroes are more important, and that is why Phraesto is down the list towards the end of the S plus tier. Rainier charms are going to be not important, actually. Like, you might think Rainier's an important hero, but his charms are not that important. You want to give him Mystic charms if you want to maximize his damage, but it's only for his own damage. It doesn't provide any additional effect or bonus to the allies who he is buffing or any support to the team. And so that is why it's not a major priority. We'll just put him in the S tier at the end of the S tier. Okay, we have Reese. So Reese, I'm just going to put in the B tier, PvP type hero, and Butcher charms are recommended, and that will be for when Ravage Run comes out, so we can put him up the B tier list. Rowan, okay, so Rowan, the Wizard charms, I believe, which give him ultimate power. You need to give him ultimate power because that is going to boost his energy generation to his allies, and that can help with like Cryonaia and stuff. I think that can have a lot of PvP uses, so I'm going to put it up here. Well, definitely has to go after Damon. Damon's much more meta of a hero. It can go around here. Yeah, Rowan with the wizard charms, boosting energy of Cryonaia. If you're using him in any PvP comp, then you can go for those, but only if you're using him, of course. Citrana, so Citrana's gonna get her Supreme Plus skill upgrade. Already, she was a pretty decent hero. However, the thing is, she really shines more in regular arena compared to Supreme Arena. Although you can use her in Supreme Arena, it's just like kind of not necessary. Like her vitality reduction and things. She works well with Bonnie. She works well with Tasi, Talene. I'm not gonna highly recommend it. I'm gonna put her in the B tier, and she's not even useful for Ravage Realm. So I wouldn't make it a major priority for you to be getting her Mythic Plus charms. That's like way down the line, and only if you use her. Salazar, I know there are Salazar fans now. Specifically, I don't know the best charm set for him. I know he gets the Titanic charms. I remember that from Ravage Realm in the previous season. I don't know if those are going to be optimal for him because of like his changes with his Supreme Plus skill upgrade. I will put him in the top of the B tier because you can use him in Ravage Realm. Although he wasn't even the top damage dealer in Ravage Realm of the previous season. He was like a backup option if you didn't have, for example, Hugin, or if you didn't have Igor as well. So yeah, I don't know if Salaz is going to be the best option for Ravage Realm. Probably not, honestly. However, if you're going to use him in PvP, then you can get him charms, but like, don't make it a priority. Scarlita. So Scarlita, there's a couple of ways you can go. You can give her the Reaper charms, which calls you give her the execution to have more kill threat, or you can give her the charms which increase her buffs, like basically that increase her healing amount. Because if you increase the healing amount of the hero who they're on, is going to increase her shielding that she provides to other allies. So that is the effect of healing in this game. So the charms that provide healing can be used as like a supportive option if you want kill threat as Reaper charms, but she's just a weak PvP hero, so I'm going to put her at the end of the A tier. Seth, we can put at the A tier. So Seth is actually going to be pretty good for Ravage Realm specifically. He's always a hard-hitting damage deal for Ravage Realm. And for him, it is, I believe, the best ones are the Bloodlust charms. I think they are the two swords, like charm effect. But you can go for any offensive option, but I'm pretty sure those were the best. But actually, for a while, I think the crit charms also, crit and haste were also good. So any offensive one can work for Seth, and we'll talk about Ravage Realm and optimize for that later on when we get closer to the time. Sylvina is pretty strong in PvP, especially in the Graveborn nuke comp. I'm definitely going to put in the A tier. You're going to want something that maximizes her damage output, and that is going to be Sorcery Charms, increasing her damage, I think, from her initial attacks by skill power, and also increasing her ultimate power. I think Sorcery Charms are the way to go for Sylvina, most likely, but any offensive option can work. And this is the other thing about Charms. If you're not specifically crafting a hero and you get another set complete, you can just equip the set. Like, even if it isn't the best in slot set, it's still going to be useful for the hero. However, the best in slot is really important to craft and focus for your Dream Realm heroes to maximize their potential. Shakir, of course. Shakir belongs in the S plus tier. Shakir is one of the top heroes, most important that you're going to be wanting to get charms for. I'm going to maybe even put him higher than the Harak, to be honest, because the skill power, 4 skill power is going to increase his attack buff leader provides to your allies by 4%. And for his Lupine's aura, and if they're like 5 allies within his Lupine's aura, that's a 20% attack boost to all of these allies. That is massive value, and that is how Shakir comps are going to be totally taking over the meta when we get the Mythic Plus charms. So Shakir is one of the major priorities. Smokey as well, major priority, but around Mikola level, because it's even more important than Mikola, because Smokey is using more teams, and also, yeah. That's basically the reason why. But both of them are going to increase their attack buff they provide to allies by 4% increase. So from 20 to 24% attack buff. So not a major increase, but it's still as important. And because they're using so many comps, it is going to be important to get. Soren is a PvP hero. I'm just going to put him in the B tier. I know his charms are good. Yeah, but I'm going to put him in the B tier. Is if you use him, you can promote him higher, but I think most people don't use Soren that much, just like they kind of don't use Kaffir that much. But Soren, you want to give him the skill power related charms. I think it's the Arcane, which give him skill power. I know it gives attack and skill power, but yeah, I think those are the optimal. Sonja is going to be very important. Sonja is going to be very important. I think I'm going to, I don't know if I would put her. The thing about Sonja, her Arcane charms, they give skill power, and the skill power increases her Crimson Covenant attack buff by, I think, 13% or like 14%. It's a massive increase. So it only buffs up the 2 allies and herself. However, that is a much bigger attack boost compared to like Smokey and Mikola, but the Smokey and Mikola is team-wide. So both have their advantages, but I do think Sonja is going to be a bit more important than the Smokey and Mikola, so definitely do prioritize Sonja charms. Sinbad is going to be very, very important. And we're going to put him, yeah, like Sinbad is a key damage deal. I'm going to put him maybe even above the Sonja. Sinbad, now, historically, Gale charms were always a way to go on Sinbad, and they are a good option. However, people have ideas in the Yapali Discord that Sorcery charms is going to be optimal for Sinbad, and I can get behind it because it's going to increase his ultimate power, like, and also is going to increase his dual cut damage, which is one of his major sources of damage, and increases it by a pretty decent amount with that 4 skill power, and it's on such a low cooldown. He's casting it so frequently. I can definitely get behind Sorcery Charms on Sinbad. It does seem like those might be optimal, but Gale is also a safe option and definitely probably the second best option. Talene, now it will depend on how much you use her in Dream Realm. However, I will definitely put her above the Bonnie, and she's going to be the Blast Charms, Ultimate Power, and Attack. That is the way to go for Talene. All of her damage comes from Ultimate, so of course that is the way to go. Temesia, not really an important hero, we'll put in the B tier. Because again, if you're using like tank type heroes, and even if you're using them for AFK stages, you do not need their Mythic Plus charms. Like, they're doing their job at Mythic. They have the maximum stats. Mythic Plus gives a set effect bonus, but that is it. And is not needed for a lot of heroes. But for some heroes, it's so game-changing, and those are the ones who are high on the list. Tasi is going to be really important. Honestly, I want to put in the S plus tier, but I'm going to put it at the top of the S tier. Because for AFK stages, for PvP, and it's going to be Blast Charms for Tasi, Ultra Power, Skill Power, that's so important, sorry, Ultra Power, Attack, that is really important, is going to increase her damage output so much, and also prolong the duration of her Hypnotization up to 6 seconds. That is just when Tasi becomes an absolute beast if you didn't think she already was. And she already was, honestly. So Tasi, top of the S tier, definitely. Almas, I'm going to put in the S tier as well for AFK stages. Although you don't need it actually for AFK stages. It's mainly a PvP thing. But I don't know. I'm a big fan of Almas, and I think we need more heroes in the S tier. I'm going to move Iron up here as well. So Almas, you want to give him the Bear Charms. They increase his tankiness, basically. And that will help you for PvP, where he is a great option with the Wild of Faction talents and like the Iron nuke comp as well. So yeah. Vala, Reaper Charms have always been the best on Vala for like Ravage Realm, and I think it would also be good for PvP. It gives her execution and more kill threat, and we'll put in the A tier as a PvP hero. Valen, I would not recommend. We'll put him in the C tier. Thorin, he's only basically a PvP hero, but he's pretty good at that. I'm gonna put him around here, like, I don't know, around the Dunlinger level, and you want to give him the Bear Charms to make him tankier. That's usually the way to go. The only change is like by Ravage runtime, if you're running him, then you give him like Blast Charms to increase his damage slightly with Ultimate Power and Attack, but that is really minor. Just go for the Bearer Charms, anything tanky if you want to go for them, but again, not a major priority. Velka, I think the best for Velka is going to be the Arcane Charms, giving her attack and skill power. Now, the thing is, for Ravage Realm, probably she's going to be great and pretty important. However, before that, I don't know really where you'll be using her. I mean, if you're using her in Dream Realm, like for that one Orson boss, potentially, but most people are not using that as a top comp. So Velka, honestly, not really too important, but I will just put her in the A tier for right now, if you're using her in PvP or something like that. Viperon is going to be a Ravage Realm pretty much exclusive hero. He's decent there, but he might not even be the best option because he has AoE damage, which it depends on the Ravage Realm. Meaning that Viperon will not be a major priority for Ravage Realm unless there are multiple targets in that Ravage Realm boss. And now finally we have Walker. So Walker is going to be in the C tier, not a very important hero. I know some people make Walker useful, but basically overall I'm happy with this tier list. And just to recap things, the S plus tier heroes, these are the heroes everyone should be prioritizing first on their account. Whichever heroes you have built here and you're using regularly in Dream Realm, max out these heroes. And actually, maybe to make things a little bit less complicated, I'm gonna move Cyran and Bonnie down because even though they have some Dream Realm applications, it's very minimal Dream Realm applications, and so it's not a huge priority to be getting their charms. But the S plus tier heroes, these are all the really important, impactful Dream Realm heroes. If you have these heroes built, get their charms, get the optimal charms like we mentioned throughout the video, which are the best in slot charms for all of the heroes here. Craft them and go in order. Get the twins first, then Ludovic, then Shakir, and then down the line Harak, Sinbad, like we have here. I think the ordering is pretty good. The S tier is going to be some niche Dream Realm use, like Bonnie and Cyran, maybe one Dream Realm boss. Other than that, maybe Athalia. Other than that is mainly AFK stage heroes like Tasi, Arden, Cyran, and the key heroes at that. And then the A tier are mainly the somewhat PvP hero options, and it depends how much you use them if you want to get their charms. However, their charms are going to be a priority when you're really trying to max out your Supreme Arena defense and offense lineups. And then the B and below tier, these are basically Ravage Realm B tier, a lot of them, but that will come later in the season. Don't focus on it right now. You can sweep for them, but don't craft them right now. And then C tier, not important. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Good luck getting your Mythic Plus charms. Good luck on your sweeps, and hopefully you have enough materials that you'll be able to craft your key charms early on. And if there are any updates, definitely I will keep you guys updated. But yeah, overall, I'm happy with this. Thank you guys for watching. If you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please smash that subscribe button. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. Let's hit it before the end of the season. Thank you guys for your support. Also, guys, feel free to join my AFK Journey Discord server. There's a link to that in the description of this video. But thank you guys for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video. And until then, everyone, peace out for now.